around 41 years, and in that time saved over 90,000 cats and dogs.
And when you say no kill, this is maybe something that's kind of tough to talk about, but a lot of shelters give an animal how long before they decide that they can no longer support it?
Well, it varies from location to location, and in all fairness to municipal shelters, they can't say no. I mean, they have to take in every animal. So we try to relieve that burden, obviously, and that's one of the things we do for our rescue partners. But in our particular case, once an animal crosses our threshold, they're safe, and they will stay with us until they find a home. The only time we will euthanize an animal is if death is imminent and they're suffering.
Sure,
and obviously,
they're in pain, right?
Out of over 5,000 animals last year, I think we lost 83. And
it happens. I mean, they get diseases, they get hurt, right?
But even in those cases, we'll provide palliative care for an animal. So on any given day at our particular location, we have about 300 animals with another 150 or so in foster care. You mentioned earlier, we work with 47 other rescues around the state, and we will take animals when they're full. Sometimes if there's a tragedy, a natural disaster, hurricane, tornado, there's a lot of strays and they'll come into a shelter. Well, the shelter won't have room, so we'll take the animals they had there for adoption so that the strays can come in and get reacquainted with their family members.
Now, are we talking cats as well?
Cats and dogs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we have
Didn't know
cats
that.
and
There
dogs.
you go, Dave. We can go get a cat.
Yeah, we had a hermit crab once too, but he
he
just showed up.
You can keep that.
Yeah.
I've had a hermit crab, and they're kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing that you guys do, but it all takes money to
really
make the
does.
world go round. Let's be honest. You know all too well about this.
Right. We receive no government funding, so all the money that comes to us in the way of donations and fees, and our fees don't really cover less than half of the expenses that it takes to care for an animal. Again, being a no-kill facility, we have a full medical hospital on site, so we've treated about 5,000 animals a year for just about every condition that you can imagine. So that's why tomorrow we're doing our Day of Giving, and that's reaching out to your listeners to make a tax-deductible gift to us, and every gift up to the first $10,000 is going to be matched by one of our donors, and so we're really excited about that.
Yeah, it's cool.
We appreciate the support. I was telling you earlier, our medical budget alone is close to $1 million, and in real value, it's probably about 1.6 because we find ways to stretch a dollar and make the best use of the relationships we have with other folks.
And you were telling me the way this Operation Kindness is laid out, that you've got run trails and all kinds of cool.
Yeah, we consider our moniker is where happiness begins. It is not what we would consider your typical shelter. We have walking trails, we have dog parks, we have animals that are dogs and cats. We have a cat porch we affectionately call the catio, and so it's really a nice place, and we're very, very fortunate in that we have last year we had 53,000 hours of volunteer time. So we have volunteers there walking dogs, playing with the cats, bathing the dogs, helping us out in medical.
So if Dave and I want to donate, come down on a Saturday morning or Saturday, you would take us?
Yeah.
I'll be down. Let's do it.
I'll do that.
Just sign up online, go through an online webinar, and then we give you kind of a hands-on training once you get there, and away we go.
Because guess who scoops up Coco the kitty's litter box? You're looking at him. Because no one else in the house will do it.
Yeah,
I do.
Including my cat's litter box.
I work on Saturdays, and my philosophy is there are no job titles on Saturdays. We all clean, we all pick up poop, we all do whatever we have to do.
Pick up the poop. I can deal with poop. Look, I unclog toilets at home. I can honestly, I can do it all. Nothing surprises me. Yeah. Jim Hanophy, the CEO of Operation Kindness, is joining us on the show to talk about their big day tomorrow. And let's talk financially. It doesn't matter if someone can really, any bit of money helps. So if someone's thinking, I don't have thousands of dollars to donate, you don't need that.
Absolutely. Any amount really helps. It really does. And it adds up. And we're so grateful for the support we get from people. And I just, in fact, yesterday, I opened a letter from a lady who had donated us $25. And it was a very heartfelt note about she had lost her husband not too long ago. She had adopted from us a few years ago. She's on a fixed income, and she just wants to support us. And, that means the world. Yeah. It means we're making a difference for her, and in her way, she's supporting us. So it's awesome.
Well, that brings a tear to my eye. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah.
Tough guy over here is tearing up. Let's talk about, you've got some stories as well.
Yeah, I mean, I just, just a few examples, and I mentioned my dog as an example, but I got a few favorites. One of my favorites is a story about a dog named Nick and a young lady named Abby. We do an event, one of our fundraising events, and we do it at the Omni. And a couple of years ago, we did one, and we brought dogs for adoption, and Nick was one of the dogs we brought, and he's a Rottweiler that had a serious injury in his leg and ended up losing his leg. And so as a puppy, he used a tripod. And so, we always say dogs are born with 3 legs and a spare because they adapt beautifully. Long story short, his mom, who worked there, saw him and sent a picture to her daughter, who happens to have cerebral palsy and uses a wheelchair. And she said, I want him. He's just like me. And she adopted Nick, and they have been fast friends, and now he's a beast. He comes back for our alumni event, and it's just he's her best friend, and he's everywhere with her. A more recent medical story, we had Amelia, which was a very nice large dog that came to us with a badly broken leg, and so we did surgery on her, and she would, to the extent where she has the metal apparatus on the side, and out of the blue, we happened to discover that she was also pregnant. And so she delivered 9 puppies in our office. We had to work pretty carefully with her to help her through the first couple weeks of nursing her puppies. And then they went out to our incredible foster program, and all the puppies got adopted, and she got adopted. Aww. And, I think the thing I'm the most proud of is that other shelters feel confident to call us. I live in Hearst, and great people there, great shelter there. And, they called me not too long ago about a dog named Wilma that they thought had a tumor and was beyond their capacity to care for. And she's just a sweet, loving dog. Turns out not only did she have a tumor, she also had a hernia. Oh. And so we did surgery on her, and she's, doing fabulous. And so, that saves an animal from being euthanized, and that's another great pet for somebody in the community. So I'm very proud of the work that we do, and I'm very proud of our staff and volunteers.
What are some of the reasons why these animals end up in your shelter? I mean, if people are moving away, or if you're older and you can no longer take care of your pet, I mean, why do they end up with you?
Well, some of the stories we don't know, obviously, because we're taking them from other shelters, and we transfer them in. A lot of times they're just strays that are lost. A fair number of people do surrender their pets for various reasons. They run into a tough situation, or they're moving, or
is that a tough moment for them to give up an animal?
I think it is. Some people are more comfortable than others. One of the things that we do at Operation Kindness is we do try to help people keep their pets. We will provide foster care for someone if they get in a tough situation for up to 45 or 60 days. So let's say somebody's going in for cancer treatment, and they have no place to put their pet. Well, it's a shame to have to surrender your pet when we can do foster care. And we partner with some other organizations to help get resources, heartworm treatment for people who can't afford it, anything to help a person to not surrender their animal.
Great point.
But strays, homeless, people moving, just any number of reasons.
It's just people that leave their gate open, the dog runs out. I mean, the stupidity of people never cease to amaze me.
Right. And if I could advocate for one thing, it would be microchip your animal.
Hello. I say that all the time. Microchip your animal. Microchip your kids. For crying out loud.
Yeah. I mean, it really does. And that happens all the time. People will bring animals to us from everywhere because they know we're no kill. And I think twice last week, people brought in a dog, scanned it. It had gotten out of the yard somehow, called the owner. The owner was very grateful and came and got their dog.
I was going to ask you, okay, you're pretty much an animal expert. I'm going to call you an animal expert. So if someone comes in, they're looking for, they got an apartment, they need a small dog, what's a good breed for that?
I think you're looking for temperament as much as you are breed, and you have to think about lifestyle. Big or small, there are small dogs that like a lot of exercise. So if you live in an apartment and you want to walk a lot, well, then you want to get a dog that's very active and wants to walk and spend time. If you're a couch potato, you might look for some of the smaller breeds that just like laps. And so part of our staff's job is to get to know the animals so that we can kind of steer people in a direction. it doesn't necessarily rule out, but you're probably not going to want a beagle in an apartment because, they're going to bay and make your neighbors unhappy and want to move around. So I think it's more about lifestyle, how much time you're available. A lot of people want a puppy, but they may not be home. And so a puppy who's 3 months old can hold it for 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people will say, oh, I can make that work out. I can go home at lunch or whatever. But if not, then maybe look for an adult that can do that. So it's really about lifestyle match and helping people get comfortable, having a good fit that way.
I got to ask you, since you're here, first pet you ever had?
We had a toy poodle and a standard poodle.
Okay.
And then my mom raised Irish wolfhounds.
Oh, okay.
So we had the big dogs around the house.
Cats. I've had numerous cats.
Right.
Cats are very independent. They act like they don't need you.
Yeah. Well, I have one that thinks he's a dog and wants a lap. And
yeah. Oh,
yeah. He does two things well. He eats and he sleeps.
Yeah.
And
now, does the animals at your shelter, they all kind of get along? I mean, do you have cats and stuff that in the cat lounge or whatever you called it? Do they all just kind of?
It's funny you ask. We have cats in our lobby that live in cages, and they're the ones that are very often they're FIV, which is feline immunovirus, and so they need to be single cats. And we have a few that just when we're not open to the public, they roam, and
no telling what they do at night.
And I have there's one that will walk right into my office and just walk right up to my dogs, couldn't care less. Others will kind of bow up and be tough.
Yeah.
Our dogs, we get to know them when they come in. We want our animals to be people focused, so they will get adopted. But we do set up play groups, and so we will room dogs together because that helps them get adopted. But we will have groups that go out in our yard, and there's a process to introduce a dog to a play group. But we have play groups there, and that helps a lot because they get a lot of activity.
I bet they get a ton. All right, thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. OperationKindness.org. Go check it out. Go. They're going to match it starting right now and all day tomorrow. And of course, this weekend, go out. Your location, by the way.
We are at 3201 Earhart Drive in Carrollton. We are just one block south of Keller Springs and Midway. So
gotcha.
You would turn off Midway onto Earhart and drive to the back. And,
gotcha.
Yeah, we just love to have people come out and look around.
Yeah, I want to come out there and just play with the cats and maybe volunteer. If you want to volunteer, get a hold of them as well.
Just go on our website.
Yeah, what a great place to meet people too.
Mm-hmm.
Meet people that love animals as well.